This computer. All right, good morning. It is, yes, July 13th. Time is ticking on, but it's still good here. So thanks everyone for checking in. I think Stephanie is out training as she's been doing, so getting her time in while they can. And I think Taylor, who's supposed to join us, he tried to make a run at the Bayview Mac race on the M32 Extreme with Dan Cherish, but didn't get far up the track, I think, before they broke, or something happened on the mass for the repoint. So I think he's headed your way, Peter, to Harbor Springs. I think is where they were bound for the delivery. So small crew today, but so we'll try to keep this short and sweet and see what's going on around the sailing world. So why don't we start with you, Peter? You did a delivery up to, you're in Holland? Give us a, where are you now?
Yeah, I'm in Harbor Springs, Michigan, which is all the way up the northeast corner of Lake Michigan. I'm out of lockdown. I left San Diego. I got on an airplane and we did a delivery on the WindQuest, which is the Ed's old Quantum Racing 52 Med Cup boat. We delivered up from Holland, which is down at the bottom of Lake Michigan on the eastern shore, all the way up 200 miles to beautiful Harbor Springs 2 nights ago. And it was a great trip. So much fun to get back out on a boat. Only 6 of us on the 52. And I forgot how nice it is out there on the water, I must admit. It was really, we did have, actually had enough wind sometimes where even with the delivery mainsail, which is shockingly small, and a little heavier jib, we still were ripping along at 13 knots and having fun.
That's a nice cruise size for a delivery like that, huh?
Yeah, 2 on, 4 off. It's the way to roll.
So explain a little bit, what's this 52 series, who's coming to play, and what's the plan of action there? Yeah,
so once again, the Great Lakes have stolen the march on the West Coast, and the Pac 52 fleet that was gracing the West Coast from a few years ago. Many of them are coming out to the Midwest, just as the sleds did a couple decades before. And there are a handful of boats, including the Fox, which is a San Diego boat, but it's been on a brand new boat that's from the East Coast, that are all going to queue up here in Harbor Springs. And they have their plan to do their own series of races. I think 3 buoy races through the summer weekend type things. And one is piggyback with this Harbor Springs Ugata Regatta in 2 weeks. And then 1 coastal race to make up for the fact that the Chicago Mac got canceled. And that'll be this weekend. And we'll sail out of here and go around a bunch of islands, including the famous Manitou Islands. And I think we expect 5 boats racing ORR, full, really well sorted out 52s. It'll be fun racing.
What's a regatta?
You don't know what the Ugata Regatta is?
Oh,
Dave?
you got. Oh, you're upper. I got it. I heard regatta, not you. Right? Got it. Regatta.
Is that World Sailing sanctioned? Do you think that event?
The 52s, I have no idea. Probably not. It seems pretty loose, but we've got some courses for the offshore or coastal race, and apparently there'll be a owners meeting for the new for the GL Great Lakes 52 class, and more will be revealed then, which will be on Friday.
You guys have all been around long enough to perhaps explain what this migration of the 70s and the 52s between the Great Lakes and Southern California, it seems to happen every couple of years. What is it? Why?
Dang, yeah, you don't know what you got until it's gone. As a West Coaster now, transplanted from many years ago, I think it was super sad when the sleds left the West Coast. We had an incredible fleet of Santa Cruz 70s and Nelson Merrick 68s and a couple of Reichel Pugh, the Taxi Dancer and stuff. I mean, we had 12 to 15 boat regattas racing inshore and offshore 25 years ago. And slowly but surely, as the owners wanted to move on, the guys and girls in the Midwest picked up on them. And I'm not quite sure why. It is pretty fun sailing in fresh water, though. You get wet and everything dries out.
Isn't that a little bit critical mass? And it's like one design classes where they come and go in certain regions based on the people that are managing it. And, the 52s are doing that right now. There suddenly was enough in that area that other people said, hey, why don't we just go there where there's already enough? I think Jonathan's probably seen that over the years. A lot of the old IOR boats ended up in this Seattle area for whatever reason, but it was, somebody was started the process, and then other people said, hey, that looks like fun, we'll go there. I think it's a lot people driven of just where the boats end up. I know that WinQuest with the WinQuest team and Doug DeVos is trying to encourage that kind of stuff to go on, but all the other owners that are in that area just they found great value in buying 52s, and they're a lot of fun to sail. And then suddenly they started doing well in a lot of events in the Great Lakes, and other people said, well, hey, why don't we just get a 52 and go there with them? And so there we are.
Migration. They do seem to go back and forth between the two locations, though. It's here 1 year, back they go. But well, it's good. So the critical mass is with you up in the fresh water. Then are you? What are you doing on the boat, Peter? Are you pulling ropes or calling shots?
Well, I was on the foredeck putting the jib up and down in the delivery. So with my good friend Dave Tank. So I'm gonna try to. I'm the navigator. So navigator's job is to do everything on the boat and be very helpful. So grinding most of the time on a 52. That's how you roll.
Nice. All right, Jonathan, what's happening in the Northwest? Crack of dawn out there, but on the schedule.
Yeah, we had a nice weekend of cruising with our friends. Our friends have a variety of different boats. My former crew, Carl Buchan and his wife, Carol, they built a 41-foot, really nice kind of racer cruiser that's a little bit similar to my boat, maybe a little more traditional. So they were up there, and our friends, the Renahans, they have a power catamaran. They were up there, and our other friends, the Lansingers, they used Molly's dad's boat. It's like a 41-foot Sabre or whatever. So we had a great rendezvous of 4 boats and 4 old friends. So that was my weekend. The only catch is that it's to get to the San Juan Islands, like the nice cruising place, is 60 miles from Seattle. So I had to take the boat up there by myself on Friday and take it back by myself on last night. So if I'm a little blurry-eyed, that's why.
There you go.
It reminded me of how, being on boats, you do create special connections that you don't, like sitting in your living room with the same group of people. You have different conversations, and I think in a way you sort of can get to a deeper level.
So a lot of conversations with yourself, is that what you're saying?
Well, the delivery, yes, but that's normal for me.
Jonathan, what was the playlist on the delivery?
Oh, I meant to talk to you about that. So do you remember when you loaded up my iPod back in Barcelona before the Barcelona World Race? It must have been 15 years ago now. All of a sudden, Pedro put I had about 10,000 songs on my iPod. You added another 6,000. And so now I've got 16,000 songs, and that's basically my go-to music on the boat. So it's a radical mix. I just put it on shuffle, and it just does anything. So it's kind of cool.
Do either of you guys keep a Spotify music account or anything, or did you share it socially in any way?
Excellent.
That's too new.
Yeah, we always thought we need to start a Sailing World playlist, I think, at some point, but where do we start?
Good idea.
Okay, that is a good idea.
So Dave, I sent you an email with a picture of my boat. I don't know if you're able to download and look at it, but I was going to give you a couple thoughts about day sailing that I'm learning along the way. We spend all our time learning how to race. We learn how to do distance racing, which is somewhat of a cruise. But actually the day sailing I'm finding is pretty cool. First of all, I've won every day sail yet, all of them. Even when I found the Chesapeake Bay bottom once a couple weeks ago. Too intense conversation, and we bumped, and that was the end of that. We jogged away and was fine. Anyway, here's a picture of my boat. Nice. This is Whirlwind. And it was built in 2015 by Chris Hood up in Marblehead, Mass. It's 32 feet overall length. You can see I've got an A sail in the bow, and the whole configuration I set out of the cockpit. So as a 70-year-old, I don't have to go up in the bow. It's got a roller furling jib. And as I look at this picture, the bang is probably slightly tight, which you put on me. And anyway, that's Whirlwind, and it's comfortable with 2, 3, or 4 people, although it's set up for single handling, but I need a second person to do the spinnaker. So what I was going to say, just a couple quick thoughts. So when you go day sailing, which I'm doing 3 days a week, I take one person with me. As you can see there, a friend of mine in the neighborhood. Have a plan and a destination. Always go upwind first. I find myself racing whatever boat's in the vicinity. I got to catch that boat, pass that boat. It's just in my blood like everybody else on this call. And make sure you have some water and drinks and eats. Take pictures and video along the way. This picture was taken by Willie Keyworth, by the way. Make observations, have a few topics set up in advance, have the attitude weather's never an issue, and then end up on time. Come back when you say you're going to, and you'll have people wanting to come back. So that's my soliloquy on day sailing and my boat Whirlwind. And then one little other thing. If you look at the boat again, you'll notice I have the cross burgees on the side. And it's the New York Yacht Club and Annapolis Yacht Club. And I wanted to make sure I got that right. So Pedro and Jonathan, you'll appreciate this. I sent an email to Harry Anderson. Just wanted to make sure that I put the New York Yacht Club burgee on the correct side and the Annapolis burgee. And he sends me a 3-page, single-space essay on flag etiquette. And he says, well, you got to do it from the boat looking out. And so the New York Yacht Club's on the right from the boat looking out. But if you're off the boat looking in, the New York Yacht Club burgee's on the left. And you go with the older club before the younger club. So New York's older than Annapolis, and that's how it was. And then I sent it for grins to John Romanier for his take. And he sent me another 2-page single-space thing adding to the discussion. And the word, if you're a flag expert, apparently you're a vexiologist. So Harry Anderson and John Romanier are vexiologists, experts on flags. So I got my flags right on the boat.
I would have gotten that totally wrong. Anybody else?
So when you did the America's Cup, my first one, we had one of the grinders on the B team was a beloved Marine colonel who's very, very dangerous man named Rambo.
Oh.
And Rambo, after we won the cup in Fremantle, we got invited by the Aga Khan and all the other boats to the first ever, maybe not the first ever, but for the 12-meter World Championships at his new yacht club, Costa Smeralda building, in Italy, in Sardinia. And at the opening ceremonies, every team brought their national flag, and there was going to be an opening ceremonies where we would hoist the flags up on the big multiple flagpoles. So as the crew nominated Rambo, of course, to be the flag bearer, and he goes up there, and everybody else, they're playing the music, they go up there and they hoist up their flag, and then they tie it off. Rambo goes up there, stock solid straight, and hooks up the flag and raises it up faster than he raises it you raise up the spinnaker, just like the fastest mast pull up, wham up, cranks the downhaul. The Cunningham is so tight, and walks away. In like 10 seconds, he has this done. He goes, that's how you put up a flag.
Do it right all the time. That's good stuff. Well, we have a quick update from Newport here with the J24 Fleet 50 season is now in full swing, full cruise. The whole heydays of 25 to 30 boats are gone. We've had 9, I think. They're kind of trickling in one by one. And so I've happened to buy a GoPro camera. I figured I'd need one eventually. And so I just share a little race here. There's a funny point in this race. You guys see it okay?
No.
No, okay.
White stripe.
Let's try. Let's see.
Yeah, that's on the playlist.
All right. Yeah, all right. How's that? Better?
There you go.
Okay. So yeah. So anyway, so our tactician's probably gonna befriend me after I throw him under the bus here. So this is a bit of Monday morning throw your tactician under the bus kind of series. But so we've got this is our crew. The woman in blue is my wife. She's now, because of the sort of the family racing thing, that she's now full time on the crew, which is pretty cool. And the skipper is this guy Ian Scott, who's on the boat for decades, and Herb McCormick, former editor here and editor over Cruising World, does the jib trim, as they have done as partners, semi-partners in this boat for I think almost 40 years. So the tactician down the lure there, we'll keep his name off there for now. And so this is a sort of a quick recap of a race that happened. So we'll keep you a little excitement here. Okay, let's try a bit of a lee bow on the starboard lay line here. What do you think? Okay, how'd that work? Okay, have a nice, loose, easy, friendly lee bow.
Wow, he's cross sheeting. Look at that.
Yeah, and we're trying to fetch the mark here with a little incoming tide. Okay, there's my shoe. Like a
So you now
1980.
making it?
Go slow, guys. Here you gotta keep them like this. Pressure on the sails.
I'm Libby.
Slow. I know.
Yeah, so over here, we pan across to a guy who's completely on a flyer, went along the Goat Island shoreline, and just really, literally sailed around from the back of the fleet to, I think he was third around the mark.
What did you get? More wind, less current? What happened?
There was a bit of breeze coming out of the harbor, but the, with the incoming tide, the middle should have been better, right, Tucker? Okay, here's a nice, clean, wifey, she's good. Okay, so that boat, that's one of the flyer, we round right behind them, as planned. Nice tack at the leeward mark. We're gonna go to the Goat Island shoreline to get out of the current. There we go. And so here's the point, you listen to the tactician. Let's see what you think. Okay. Close we duck.
So we're crossing him, huh? If we're not crossing, if it's close, we're gonna tap. We're not crossing. Let's stick it to him. All right. So this is the race depends on the big duck.
Uh-oh. Should have ducked.
Same boat. And then we had some beers afterwards. So anyway. And you guys know this yacht here?
Yeah, look at that.
That's Pedro's new yacht.
There you go, and a nice tidy roll. There you go. So the funny part of that was we were the Port Tac committee boat was hugely favored as we were going there. A nice little duck would have been fine. So I loved his sort of, if it's close we duck, and then 30 seconds later, if it's close we tack. So anyway.
I think the highlight of the take was the your wife getting the chute down efficiently, dry, clean, out of the way. Well done.
He's good.
Yeah.
He had
that one for Mother's Day.
the intensity going. That was good.
That's just a 9-boat J24 race. So anyway, it's all good here in Newport. I think, it feels there's a lot of action going on. There's, this 2000 Club doing some distance racing, and a little bit of a top secret Olympic double-handed development going on here. There's some big figure threes in town, and quite a bit of sailing going on there with those groups. So we'll hopefully find out, I think, a couple of characters you may know are behind that. So we'll try to get one of them on for next week and find out what's happening on the double-handed front here.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's it for me. How about you guys? Anything, final thoughts? Go.
Yeah, I have a celestial object of the week
Let's do it.
to share. This is from the delivery up the coast two dawns ago, and there, but south at 8 o'clock from Venus, which is the bright planet in the northeastern horizon, is the comet.
Wow.
Neowise. And somebody just happened to mention as we were leaving the harbor that there was a comet, and I didn't even believe it. And I Googled it in the middle of the night on the night watch, and they said, yeah, 80 minutes before sunrise, July 11th is the best day. 11th, 12th, and 13th, you can see it. And sure enough, all of a sudden we looked, and there it was, just being illuminated by the sun. And that's it. It's going straight down. So the head is about to hit the Mackinac Island or something there, and the tail was big. I mean, it was a dramatic picture, and fun to see the night sky again from a boat.
It
Yeah.
looked like much wind.
Yeah, we were making good 7.7 knots at that point with those boats. You know, it's cruel and unusual punishment. No wonder I have hearing losses. Like when the engine's on in those carbon boats, especially the ones that are push button boats where the engine's on all the time, like the Super Maxis, but even delivering the 52, it's so loud down below. I mean,
Yeah, love your tablet.
Yeah, we don't spend a lot of time down below on the SuperSeries circuit. It is tough. Even just grinding the winches is really loud. You know, it's right there where you're trying to rest. So, but they go well and they're fun to sail.
oh, they're just beautiful boats. Gary, how deep is your boat?
4
What do you-
feet. 4 feet.
Traditional keel, or is it a?
No, it's a modern keel, kind of a shield keel, L-shaped. It's got an electric motor that gives you about 4 horses. And the cool thing is the motor charges itself when you're sailing. The prop folds, but it kind of twists around. And so if you run your battery down a little bit going out, it's charged up after half hour of sailing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that A-sail really is good. I kind of joke that I'm the recipient of 20 years of America's Cup, the North Sails development of asymmetrical spinnakers to make my day sailor sail a little faster.
Speaking of old school, before we say we're going to quit, but Gary, can you give us a quick one on this current class of the Sailing Hall of Fame? And what's the plan?
We're going to do a virtual induction in the next class of the National Sailing Hall of Fame. It was originally scheduled to be in Newport, Rhode Island on September 12th, a Saturday. I don't know if we'll do it exactly that same day or not, but it sure is a good class of people that we announced. And I think a couple more people on this call will be on that list in the near future, I'm sure. Ed's already there, and so that's our plan. So it'll be a virtual thing. I'm preparing some videos for it, and you know, the problem with Hall of Fames is you have a list of maybe 100 people that all should be in, but you don't want to just say, okay, we'll do 100 this year. So you got to kind of spread it out. So when somebody's 90, you kind of favor them over somebody that's 55 or 60 or so. So,
Yeah.
but we're getting there. So anyway, that's a little overview.
In this group,
Like the kiss of death, like once you get inducted into the Hall of Fame, then you never win any other races again.
Yeah, I know that's always a worry, but I think
Wait, Ed's in, so that can't be true.
Ed seems to be doing pretty well down the race
Well,
course.
thank you. No, it hasn't been a jinx so far, but it's you know, it's an amazing group of people. You're right, and there are many that should be in right away, and you know, you just can't do it all at once. But it's fun to be reminded all the time when you look at the resumes of these amazing people that are in the Hall of Fame, you know, just what an amazing sport this is, and how broad it is, and how many different ways there are to be successful in the sport. It's cool.
yeah,
I agree.
I think you've got since you were late getting the Hall of Fame going, you've got centuries of people to pick up from them, you know. So yeah, the other day, the reason I brought up the other day, I found something and I thought I've never seen Steve Fawcett's name on any of the lists, and I think I sort of hereby like to publicly nominate him. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to make.
He was a Rolex Yachtsman of the Year one year.
Yeah.
Yep.
20 years ago or so.
You guys.
Did some incredible stuff. Anyway, that's it. Anybody with great sailing plans this week? You've got a regatta coming up, Peter. And how about anybody else, real quick?
I had great sailing plans. I was supposed to be on a plane 2 days ago to Spain and sail all this week with a team in the RC-44 that I work with during the year. But between all the governments, they said no Americans coming to Europe. So here I sit, and I've as we've been on this call, I've been receiving the videos and pictures of the guys out training for the day. I got to go review how they've been going and see what they've been up to. But I wish I was there.
What a bummer. Is anybody able to sneak in?
Sneak in, yeah. Well, that when I told the guys that I couldn't come, one of them, the very first thing, and of course, this is what, as Jonathan was saying, when you spend time with people in the boat, you just learn a whole different part of their personality. And the first message I got when I said that the government wasn't going to let Americans into the EU, and one of the guys says, "Well, wear a disguise." Like, oh.
Not easy, but the reason I sort of mentioned what I did have a quick conversation with Charlie Enright, who's trying to get over to his new IMOCA 60 that has now been launched, and they're trying to trickle people over one at a time to be able to get the boat across the Atlantic and be able to train here. So yeah, imagine that, having a new boat waiting for you, but not quite able to get to it.
Yeah.
Torture.
Yeah. So hopefully,
hopefully they're going to release us and let us all get out there again.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Thanks,
Thank
Dave.
you.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye, everyone.